Hello guys, this is Zibby from Dealmax Motors with an update for you guys on the 1986 Mercedes 300E that we are restoring here. So as you see guys, the car has been painted. Last you saw, we were messing around with the paint still, and this is where we are. So we did go a little bit crazy on the paint job. Most people wouldn't invest this much into the detail, but you know me, I like things done the right way, or let's just not do it at all. So the car has not been polished yet, and we will decide if we want to or not. Because it is very, very nice, and no matter how much polishing you do, after a paint job there is no scratches. If you start polishing, there is always some. So there's a few specks of dirt that are very tiny, and they're right on top of the clear. So as you guys remember, this was all replaced. I did not want to bother, and this is where the quarter panel connects. So we got our connection point under here. This took a few days to do it properly with epoxy, with special body filler, and on the bottom of course we got sealers of all sorts, epoxy and flexible stuff. Here I have a little bit of a thing to finish. I had to weld a spot, we had a hole showing through, but this is the rest. Everything is epoxied and then siliconed with special seam sealers. There is no air pockets inside. If anybody knows body work, they'll tell you that it's much better to just do this than to cut into the original quarter panel and remove the glass and get all these welded, and then the wheel well, everything will rust in the future if you do that. So we did not want to disturb any of the original factory welds, sealers. Everything is original. The car is in really great shape. As you see, there is no rust developing or anything here. A lot of 124s will have rust here. I mean, it's just super nice. That's why we decided on restoring this one. I am paying great attention to detail because this is a close to 40-year-old car. That's why I'm showing you guys the little spots and whatnot. The usual spots for corrosion would be here and other places. So super clean car, and that's why it received this sort of a paint job, you know. Some will say better than factory because there's no skimping on materials here. The clear coat is thick. It will last longer than the factory one, no doubt. I've been using the same materials for 18 years now when it comes to painting, and I have some of my cars sitting outside undercover, some of them, and they're perfectly fine, still shiny. And this comes down to knowing your materials that you're using, basically. When it comes to primer, base coat doesn't really play that much of a role here, but it's down to the roots, you know. Primer, body filler, everything has to be top notch. This isn't one of those cars we're just building to, you know, get rid of and sell and make a buck on. This is something that we're doing because we are enthusiasts, so great attention was paid to these details from our extensive, you know, experience doing this sort of stuff. We've had a shop for many years that we were replacing quarter panels, basically a few a week, you know. So now we don't do that stuff anymore, but for fun. So I have a similar video made of the 190E Koenig Special that we've built 2 years ago for a museum in Florida, Boca Raton. So they're called Patina Collective. That was almost a 2-year build, so we're not going to compare the amount of work or craftsmanship, you know, that went into the two, but very much similar work has been done to this vehicle, where all the rubbers or the trim, everything was, you know, removed. The whole car was prepped, and of course every single piece gets cleaned, all the clips, the mirrors. Before you install it, you wash everything. You know, you don't just put it back together. It's a painstaking process of, you know, washing everything before you put it back on the car. You know, when you do one of those cars that's 4 or 5 years old, you might get away with just slapping the pieces back on, but here even the door handles had to be cleaned before they were installed back. So there's really a lot of work that goes into one of these cars, but some say 126 was the best Mercedes for what they stand for, but for me it's still 124. Less complicated, more nimble, better gas economy, more sporty. So that's why we are doing this one. Actually, it was a find, you know, because it's stick shift with 81,000 miles. It's a 86, so first year release for the USA market. And soon, guys, you'll be able to see it all finished with the correct bumpers, with the correct lights. And we do have a spoiler, a Brabus spoiler that will be attached, and I think we will be painting it a flat black, just like the trim around the car, just like the bumpers are black. So it's going to be something fun. I hope you guys are excited as I am. We'll get the fenders on soon, and then it's on to replacing these shocks. The paint has failed long ago. And we have new control arms, new springs, tie rods. Basically the spindles are going to stay original. And on the back, I noticed that most of the control arms have been replaced in the past, so they are kind of nice as it is. We'll just be cleaning them up. We'll have some nice tires, and as you saw from the other videos, I have some nice rims that I do want to restore. So we did redo all the seals here because they did crack a little bit from the age. Same with the seals on top, like I mentioned from my previous videos, we made sure that there's no cracking. Here at the ends, actually we had to redo the silicone on both sides. Fronts were actually perfect. Big spot for these cars is here. Everything starts to just disintegrate after the age breakdown, and it starts to rust. As you see here, everything is boom bada bang, beautiful. We'll inspect it more, make sure that there's no cracks, maybe add some silicone. So here's the project. You know, as complicated as it gets is what I'm trying to show you. It's not you can just start doing this tomorrow and know all these things. I'm doing this for a while now. I like doing the newer bodies facelifts because then you really don't have to care about the paint here because the trim just comes and covers it. But here we actually had to try hard to make it beautiful also because this doesn't get covered on that car. So we had a few dents and we had to make sure everything is perfect. Hope you guys liked it. Give me a like, subscribe if you like watching these old cars get new life here at Deal Max Motors. Thank you for stepping in.